This time on Street Rag Garage, we are back again with the 1968 Chevy Caprice, getting it ready for a hot rod power tour or pole barn garage poverty tour or whatever tour that's coming up this summer. Let's get started. So last time on Street Rag Garage, we had this 68 Caprice started, but it was smoking all over the place. It was a mess. But we got it fired back up and running again. It's had about a year after the first time we got it running. But it runs, again, not very well at all. I'm pretty sure it has maybe a bad ring stuck valve. Something's going on. It's getting a lot of compression inside the engine there. But we're gonna keep running it, starting it up, hopefully freeing up some sticky valves. We pulled the valve covers off. There's all kinds of junk inside the valve train there. So oil changes weren't really a thing, apparently, for the owner of this car. It wasn't kept that great, but all the parts are original. This is a 327 engine. We're hoping to bring it back around. We're gonna fire it up, let it run a little bit. Maybe it'll start to clear up, change the oil a couple times, all that stuff. But this time, we need to get some brakes on it. It has 0 brakes. It's been sitting for many years, and the brake system is complete garbage. So we'll get this fired back up, see if she's still smoking real bad, see if anything's changed on it. Put some transmission fluid in it. We have a leaking we have a leaking transmission line down here somewhere that we need to address so we can move this. Hopefully we can turn it around, get all the smoke going out the doors instead of inside the pole barn here. So let's get on it. So I already put some transmission fluid in it, like 2.5 quarts or so, give or take. I'm gonna start it up. Hopefully it'll start again, and see where the leak is on this transmission line. Then we'll just hack it out there, maybe run some rubber line up in there temporarily, because if we have to pull this engine out, I don't wanna put the lines in and then get them all bent up or whatever, take them on and off. So temporary rubber insert there on the transmission lines, just make sure the transmission is good, and move it around, maybe turn it around, get it blowing out the back. Yeah, so let's start this up. Hopefully it'll start up again. I was having some problems with the choke last time, but it seems to be getting better. The more you run this thing, the better it gets, but I really don't know if that cylinder, I can't remember what cylinder it is, but hopefully we can get that come back around a little bit. Okay, give it a few pumps here. Oh, I forgot to reconnect I didn't reconnect the battery and the clickety-clack fuel pump. So let's do that real quick. Hopefully it still has battery life. Yeah, the fuel pump's running. Let that pump fluid back up into the quadrant junk there. Actually, the carburetor is doing pretty good for sitting as long as it has. So I'm good with the quadrant junk as of right now. We'll probably have to change it later, but for right now it's pretty good. Pump. Oh, there you go. See, the carburetor's working just fine, man. That was a quick and easy startup. I can already smell the smoke. All right, let's see what we have going on here. Yeah, we're still getting compression out of the valve covers, though. I don't know how good you can see it. Well, you can see it a lot better. Oh, whoa. Yikes. Wow. That was much bigger hole than I thought. Just lost like a quart of transmission fluid all over the place. But this line's leaking, so at least we know where it's coming from. Oh, that was like $7 immediately right onto the ground. Doggone it. Well, that was just all the dumb. I knew it was leaking. I didn't think it was leaking that bad, because I actually had moved it the very first time about a year ago, and it wasn't doing that. I don't even know if I have enough oil dry to cover this Oh no, I got some more. Oh, what a mess. Okay, spend 2 minutes working on the car and 20 minutes cleaning up the mess that I made. Okay, I'll just put the old blue tarp down. I got it pretty much cleaned up, but man, it takes forever to get transmission fluid oil out of this concrete. It's a little porous, so it likes to stay in there. So we're gonna have to work on the old tarp today, which is, yeah, it's fine. The floor was dirty to begin with anyway. There we go. Yeah, let's get in here and look at these lines. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit dark in here for you to see, but right, oh yeah, I can see it. Right there where the fitting goes into the line goes into the fitting, there's a hole big enough that I can see it pretty good. I don't know if you can really tell it. Yeah, can't get close enough, but yeah, it's coming out real good. So we don't even have enough line to put it in there. So I'm gonna cut. It's got the weird loop. I don't know why they do that. It loops around and then goes back in, maybe for expansion purposes, I'm guessing. But I'm just gonna cut out that loop section and run a line, if I can find one, from there to there, just a rubber line. But I gotta get that fitting. There's some line in there or something. That one seems to be okay over there, but yeah, man, that was a mess. Okay, got this little tubing cutter right here, and I'm just gonna slice this guy right here. These two lines, they run side by side parallel, from that side to that side, but this one I'm probably gonna have to snip it with some snippers, and then there it goes, and then put a socket on it. Oh, starting to leak already. Put a socket on it and get that out, because I already tried an open end and I don't have any line wrenches. That one's stuck in there, so I'm just going to clip this with some clippers here. Oh, that's real soft anyway. Yeah, that's right through there. There we go. There's the line off. Now I'll just take a socket there to get that off of there. And that is just a ½ inch, so it just makes it so much easier. Oh, I thought I made it easier. There it goes. Wow. No, I would never have gotten that off even with a line wrench. That's in there so tight. Yeah, that's probably, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the original line. It's the original radiator, so it's never been out of there. And I can definitely tell it. The fitting's still good. I just don't know if I can make another line. I don't think I have anything that big, so we're gonna have to come up with something. I don't know if I have anything laying around. Let me look and see. Well, fortunately for me, Chevy being so universal, I found this fitting. I had previously pulled the transmission and engine out of the Chevy truck. I used the engine in the Monte Carlo. I still had the transmission right there laying back in the pole barn there. And it already had this fitting on it, which is the exact same fitting as came off the 78 here. So what I did is I just cut this line a little bit going that way, and then we can attach this rubber hose here and bend it right into place, and that should solve our problem without spending any money at all. So this temporary fix, yeah, may turn into a permanent fix, but I don't think this is something you really want to do for a long haul. We can bend it like that if we want, make it look just like this one or something in between. But yeah, it'll work for now. I'm probably gonna have to pull this engine out, so that's why I don't want to make anything too spectacular there and nice. Maybe after we get done making this engine run properly, we can put transmission lines in the way they're supposed to be and not hacked in. Okay, man, it's just dark under here. I can see just fine, the camera can't. And just like that, we got our little loop here, our expansion. It goes into the transmission using the cheapest hose clamps that we could find from Harbor Freight. So hopefully this other one doesn't have a leak in it, but it probably does, and we'll probably have to do this all over again. But let's start it up and see what happens. Okay, I'm ready to give it a try again. Since I don't have any help, I'll just use the camera and look through my phone here, and while I start it up, and see if it's going to spray transmission fluid all over the place. But at least when it probably does, I'll be able to shut it down immediately and not make a giant mess and lose transmission fluid. Okay, now I'm back in the car, and I immediately lost picture, so now I can't even see. So I'm just going to fire this up for just a couple seconds and poke my head underneath there and see what happens. Okay, well, I'm leaning under here. I don't see anything, so I guess it's safe to get out and look. All right, well, it seems to be doing the thing. No transmission fluids coming out. It's running. Still puffing compression through the crankcase. And running rough. So at least I can test out the transmission, make sure it's still working, and turn this thing around and get the fumes out of the garage. Okay, now off the jack stands, got the old gas can on the hood where I can watch it when it falls off and starts a giant fire. Oh, this thing's so awful. Hopefully it has enough compression to move it. All right, let's see. Transmission test number 1. Well, it moves. Oh yeah, I don't have any brakes. Yipes. Oh, still going forward. There we go, there's neutral. Well, it moves pretty good. Well, she's running, and it's puffing out, still puffing out a lot of smoke even through the exhaust, so that's, I don't know, there's smoke everywhere. In the crankcase, out the exhaust, valve seals, piston rings, all that stuff is probably just garbage. I want to turn this around, but it's been raining and most of this is kind of muddy, so I guess I'm gonna have to try to turn it around in the street. Fortunately, there's not a lot of cars, but man, I do not have any brakes at all. So I'm gonna check out here. Yeah, there's nobody coming right now, so maybe we can make this happen real quick. Now this is definitely gonna go on my list of dumb things that I should not do. No brakes, going out on the street, can't hardly see. Don't know if it'll make it back in or not. Here we go. Neutral drive, you know that dance. Oh, come on, no cars coming, we're good. Well, the first time it's been out on the street in a very long time. I keep on wanting to hit the brakes, and there are none. Okay, as long as nobody comes, we're doing good. What was that? Oh, not too fast. Oh, going too fast. Got to put it in reverse. That cannot be good for the transmission. All right. And it's starting to idle up too high. Okay. Carefully back into the garage. All right, I've been sweeping the floor, letting it run out here for a little bit before I pull it back in, and yeah, it is puffing like crazy. I don't even think you can see it as good as I can out here, but it's puffing. I really don't think this is going to come back around. Look at that. That is bad. real bad. Ugh. Yipes. Probably not going to be able to use this engine, but we are going to give it every opportunity we can to work. And something's dripping out of it right now. It looks like coolant, no big deal. We'll deal with that. Let's pull it in. We need some brakes. Well, this left side turning signal works in the front as well as the back. I don't think the right one really works. Can't see it. Oh, come on, you nasty thing. Yeah, still a cylinder. I think there's a cylinder still not working. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Okay, well, here we go. Let's get her pulled back inside carefully. Neutral. Drive. Neutral. Drive, neutral. Drive, neutral. Drive, neutral. Drive, neutral. Oh, reverse, reverse, neutral. Drive, neutral, reverse. Oh, no. Stay. Good enough. There we go. Yeah, I know, definitely not good for the transmission, but if you're of a certain age, you've done it. You know you have. Doing it loading onto a trailer, now that's the trick. If you've done that and you made it without going over the tongue, you're good. I've done it before, and I've messed up before, but I'm good enough I can load this on the trailer without going over now. To get this guy back up in the air, and we're gonna pop off the wheels and look at the brakes. So I had, in order to get it in here originally, I had to take off the driver's side drum and rip, beat, smash, bend, and remove pretty much everything inside the brake drum because it was not having it. So everything on that side is totally gone. So what I'm going to do is pull off the driver's side so I can have a frame of reference to know where all the new stuff is going to go. And I'm also going to disconnect this battery and this fuel pump because it's still pumping fuel. Okay, come on. There we go. Disconnect all that. There we go. Now we can get to work. Okay, she's all up in the air. Jack stands under it, so it can be kind of safe. These wheels are something else I have to replace before I take it down the road for real. These are all slotted, wallered out from being on some other car. They didn't have the lug nuts tight, but this was on the 68, rather 69 Chevelle. That's what it came with. Been sitting for many, many years. Tires are still good, but they're incredibly drywall rotted, meaning they're not actually good. Oh, look, the cap's just about ready to fall off there. It looks pretty good inside of there. Hopefully this is gonna slide off easy. It wiggles around, so she should come off relatively easy. And yes, four-wheel drum brakes. Not the greatest thing, but I mean, they worked in 1968. I still should stop a car with, less than 300 horsepower, probably. Yeah, I don't know, the 327, how much power did a 327 make in 1968? I don't know, but it's before all the crazy emission stuff, so I bet this 327 makes more power than probably makes more power than a 400 small block from the 70s, I imagine. Might make close to 1970s or mid 1970s big block power. So that's big block. How much did the big block make in like 1977? About what? Maybe 200 horsepower, 2.25, if that. Just because it's a big block doesn't mean it had a bunch of horsepower. It had a bunch of torque, but man, those horsepower ratings were down. I mean, like a 350 made, in the mid-70s made like a 160-ish, 150, something like that. I don't know, it wasn't much. Well, the bearings actually look pretty good. I mean, we should probably replace that, but I mean, it's actually pretty nice. Let's see if this, oh look, it slides right off. Nice. The other side was awful. It was like the other side is set in water or something. I don't know why this side is so good and the other side's so bad. Actually, the drum's in good shape. We can reuse that drum. Let's look at these brakes. Not bad. Like I said, I'm not a fan of replacing drum brakes because it always, it just takes so long. You have to remember where all this hardware come from. So that's why I'm going to leave this one open, and we're going to go and try to put together the other side first. Here we have a perfectly good diagram of where everything is supposed to be. The wheel cylinders definitely look bad. I mean, I wish Kevin from Junkyard Digs was here. This is his speciality. He just like rips the wheel cylinder out, make sure the slack adjuster down here is good, and puts it all back together and doesn't even hardly change anything, and it works. We're not going to get that lucky. We never do. But I'm going to spray some of this down and go pull the other side off, and we'll get to work and putting the other side together. Now, before we get started on the brakes, there's something I wanted to show you. Now, this episode is sponsored by Top Don. I have a couple other products of theirs. I have the jump starter, I have the scanner. This most recent thing they sent me is a TC004 Mini. It is a handheld thermal imaging camera. This is next level. Let's check this out. So this is it right here. This is a thermal imaging camera. So it's going to help us diagnose what cylinder is missing, what banks, or what's going on in this engine. This thing is super cool. I've been playing with it already. Let's get a close-up here, and you can see immediately it gives you a display of where all the heat is going in this engine. That's the intake manifold right there, glowing all nice and red. It can show you the radiator. Look at the radiator. It's all nice and warm all the way through. We can tell the radiator's working like it should. Those little light spots right there are pieces of mud that's on the radiator. And if we come over here, we can see the exhaust manifold. And you notice something here? It's way hotter on this side than it is on this side. That's our problem. Looks like our number 2 cylinder is not engaging. So we can tell that, we can tell all that information just by looking through the lens of this thermal imaging camera. And we can also see how much heat is coming off that intake manifold. But fortunately, not a whole bunch of it's being sucked up by the carburetor. That dark spot in the middle is the carburetor, and it's not getting a whole lot of heat soak in it. We can also see that our radiator or our heater hoses, they are working. You can see those 2 thin lines going into the core there. So we know that we are pumping coolant around. We can tell we're pumping coolant into the top of the radiator and through the bottom of the radiator because it's all nice and hot. And the back side of the radiator, all that fun stuff. This is a very interesting and fun tool to have around. I mean, you can even see the exhaust coming out. So this is an absolutely awesome tool to add to your arsenal of things. And you can check your body temperature apparently too. There is a little reading on here that tells you how hot things are too in Celsius or Fahrenheit. So we can tell right there, my hands are about 78 degrees Fahrenheit. So it works well. So not only is a thermal imaging gun, it's a heat gun as well. So this little tool, just that easy, told us what banks we need to look at in order to get this thing hopefully smoothed out, or which banks are failing us, and we'll probably just have to replace the engine anyway. But I'm gonna leave a link below, and it'll give you a little discount, and you can pick up one of these guys for yourself. It's really cool, neat tool, just to have in your toolbox. Comes in super handy. I suggest you get one for yourself. Okay, I just yanked the drum off. The drum's okay. I could probably hit it with a little sandpaper, clean it up a little bit, but it's fine. This is the other side. There's nothing here because I had to take everything out and to get it in, to even get it in here. So this is all the parts here. I even had to even bent that. I don't know what this part's called. It goes in between the brake pads there, but I'm gonna need that part. I'm gonna have to try to bend that back into shape. But there's the brake shoes. There's the slack adjuster, which is completely frozen. I did find this slack adjuster, which pretty similar. I don't know. The wheel looks a little different. May be able to make that work, or make this one work with a little lube and stuff on it and work it back and forth. But we'll need this arm. We don't need these springs or anything else there. No lug nut. But we'll take these pieces, try to get this freed up, and stick this thing back together. Okay, new brake shoes, old brake shoes. We put them end to end. Yeah, the new one, it's just a tiny bit shorter, and the brake material is a little bit shorter on one end and longer on the other end. It's not exact, but you have like a slack adjuster in there that's gonna make up the difference. So I guess it really doesn't matter, but you think they would have did a little bit better job to make them more exact. The new ones have a little hole in them. I don't think that really matters, but all the holes on this side all match up and they're exactly the same. So this will work just fine. It's just kind of odd that it's not an exact matchup when you have original parts to go off of when you're making those things, but it is what it is. It'll work, and that's all we need. Now, as for this wheel cylinder, that's gonna have to come out of there. Oh, it's so dark back here I can't see. It should just be like one bolt in the back of there, and it should come out, but we got to disconnect this line, which any line that's been sitting for as long as this one, it's just no good. So I went ahead and bought new lines there. Hopefully it'll work, and hopefully we can get this one out without breaking it. There's a hard line that goes into a rubber line, and there's a clip right here that kind of holds the line up here, the rubber line, but these hardly ever come out, especially in the Midwest. There's a high probability that we'll have to replace that, but I'm gonna see if I can get the wheel cylinder out, and maybe I'll come back with some heat. I'm gonna spray it with some PB Blaster, give it a little try, but not enough to strip out this bolt. But I should be able to pull this wheel cylinder out without taking that out there if this line comes out on this end. So let me try that. I'm gonna struggle with it a little while and see what I can do. I'm immediately wrong. It looks like it comes through there. Is that all one piece? I haven't seen one quite like that. I haven't done a whole lot of front drum brakes in my lifetime, but I think usually the back has like one or two bolts in the back and it comes through. And this light is so yellow. Can you believe drop it. You can believe we used to use such yellow lights instead of the brighter daylighters. Man, this thing's yellow. Okay, yeah, there's nothing in the back. It must be this one right here. So it's got a tab bent over. I'm gonna bend that out and let's see if I can't get this wheel cylinder out. I hope I bought the right wheel cylinders. Okay, so there was some figuring out to do and I had to go get some parts, and unfortunately I'm gonna have to go get some more parts. This is what I did some work off camera. So I had to go run and get these wheel cylinders. One I bought were all rear ones. The front ones, they do bolt with this 15/16. I had to go get a 15/16 because who has that? Yeah, but I got this far and then I found out I was missing one plunger here that apparently got lost when I had to pull off this whole brake assembly. So I can't add the springs to compress all this together because I don't have this, and it'd be very difficult to pull this back and slide it in and all that. And these are already hard enough to stick in if you've ever had to do these without the proper tool. A little bit difficult to get into place. No fun at all doing these front brakes. This is as far as we got, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the master cylinder. I'm going to have to order that plunger part. You just can't go down to the auto parts store anymore and buy those. I did get this slack adjuster freed up, so we can throw that in after we get the plunger. But we're going to have to move on to the master cylinder, see if we can't get that plumbed in. I did pull out the brake lines up here. Where'd they go? I don't know. They're gone. Oh, I had to cut this one. This is the old master cylinder. It is totally gummed up. That's gummed up. The brake lines broke, and we're gonna have to make all new brake lines because I just gave it a little pressure and it snapped right off. It was rusted. It would have definitely blew apart as soon as we put some pressure to it. So I think we're gonna need new brake lines all the way through. So we're gonna have to order brake line as well. It's a mess. All right, so next up we're gonna take off this master cylinder, but I don't know if you can hear it or not. It's a little bit loud, but it's cold. Another purchase I made was this little bitty heater here that's gonna keep us nice and toasty warm throughout this winter. This is a winter project. It's starting to get cold and we need some heat. So I hope you can hear me okay over that thing running. But let's get to pulling this master cylinder off and having a look at it, see how bad it is. Okay, so I wire brushed it off. I hit it with some penetrating fluid. I also bought some line wrenches that we can put on here to try to break these off. Now these are, I don't want to break these. These kind of look like, at least this one looks like it's been replaced before. This one, I don't know, maybe it's been replaced, but let's try to get these off without breaking them. My line wrench, these are 9/16, so got a little bit more bite. It moved, but so is the line. That's what you don't want. Let's try this one. That one's moving without the line moving too much. So we hit it with some more PB here, some more here, get it all lubed up real good, and just gonna work it back and forth carefully. I think it's turning too. That's not good. Yeah, that's an issue. I'm gonna work it back and forth a little bit and see if I can't get it to move here. Okay, the answer to that question is a hard no. I tried putting a line or a vice grip on it and holding the line, and it's just rusted inside the nut too bad. We're making lines. We're making probably every single line on this. So that's not gonna be any fun whatsoever, but you do what you gotta do. I tried. I tried my best. They're just going to twist off. I could have added some heat to it, but I don't have any. 1, 2, there's a lot of gasoline and oil around here, and I don't want to start a fire. So it is what it is, but now it's off. So I'm going to pull this master cylinder out and we'll have a look at it. Not that it's any good or savable. Well, I guess we could rebuild it, but we're not going to do that. But there's a couple flange nuts. Yeah. And there we go. Master cylinder. Oh, it's going to be a lot easier to get off than I had thought. I guess all the brake fluid and grease and stuff are making these pretty loose. Come on. There we go. There's one. Grab this other one off of here. And we'll have a look at this. The brakes are completely frozen in place. So I imagine there's a bunch of corrosion and stuff on the back of this master cylinder because the pedal will not move at all. Yeah, I see it's frozen in place. And you can probably move the pedal now, but that's pretty nasty back there. Not as bad as I thought, but you can tell it's been leaking and a bunch of junk's been getting right back in there and froze up the piston that's inside of this master cylinder, so it definitely doesn't work any longer. Okay, now problem 1263. Here's a brake pedal. Can you see it? You can't see it. There it is. The brake pedal. It should just push, and it's not pushing at all. No master cylinder on here. I believe we have an issue maybe with the brake booster now. I don't know, man. It should push. I'm gonna go in here and push really hard on this pedal. Oh, okay, now it just went all the way down. That was super hard to do. Did that pop out any? Okay, I'm gonna work it back and forth a little bit and hopefully it'll start moving. If not, yipes. I do not want to replace the old brake booster as well. I'm pulling this back up with my hand, trying to push it. Oh man, I don't know about this. It's moving a lot better now, but a bunch of junk sounded like it came out from underneath the dash. I don't know what's going on there. This car is an absolute disaster. I looked underneath the old dashboard here. Here's what I see. We pushed on it and yeah, moved now. That's just a pedal. The rod is completely disintegrated. All that rust in there. You see that junk? That was the rod, and it's all rusted away. So all of that's inside of the brake booster. So that means we need a new brake booster now. This is an absolute disaster. But we're gonna keep working on this. We're not quitting. We're not giving up on this car. All right, got the heat shut down. It's pretty warm in here now. But unfortunately, we're at a stopping point. We need more brake parts. We need a brake booster and brake line, some fittings, and probably some other stuff that I'm not thinking about right now that I'll probably need later and I won't have. But we're gonna have to go order parts. We are at a complete standstill right now. We could work on the engine. Actually, it would probably be easier just to take the engine out of this car and fix all the brake components, all the wire, all the lines, because the proportioning valve is really hard to get to. If we remove the engine and just replace the engine, because this engine is total garbage, and then did the brake lines, I think that will probably be the way to go. So I think we're going to wrap it up here at this point. Come back in here, order some parts, re-strategize, maybe pull this engine out, clean up underneath here, run the brake lines, put the booster in. It'll make the booster, putting the booster in a little bit easier. Everything's going to be easier if we just yank this engine out. So that is the plan. Next time we will yank this engine out. We'll do the brakes and try to find a new engine to put in here so we don't have to mess with this thing. This thing is garbage too. Everything on this car, complete garbage. Why are we doing this? Well, it's because we can. I don't recommend everybody jumping into a project like this. This is way, way beyond simple scraping the points and changing the brake pads and driving at 2,000 miles across the country. We're going to have to do a lot of work to this car to make it on one of the tours. But that is going to wrap it up for this episode of Street Rat Garage. Until next time.